Welcome to our first episode of Politics in Focus, where we dive into the latest political developments shaping the world. I'm your host, Vicente A. Jr., and today we're focusing on the intense political battle unfolding in the Philippines, specifically around Vice President Sara Duterte. In recent weeks, Sara Duterte has found herself in the center of a storm, facing allegations over the use of confidential funds by her office. While her office has clarified that no funds were misused, these accusations persist, sparking what many are now seeing as a politically charged attack. Let's dive deeper into what's really happening here. This situation isn't just about financial accountability, it's a much larger political battle. Sara Duterte's critics and political opponents appear to be using these allegations as a tool to undermine her and her family's influence. It's important to remember that Sara Duterte comes from a political dynasty. Her father, former President Rodrigo Duterte, is known for his tough stance against corruption, drug addiction, and crime. He gained prominence for his courage to punch back against abusive figures in government, often going after entrenched powers within the political system. His fearless leadership made him a controversial figure, but also a deeply popular one among Filipinos who were tired of systemic corruption. It seems that this same legacy has led to Sara becoming a target of political attacks. The Duterte family has powerful allies, but also many detractors fear their continued political dominance. Some believe that these recent controversies are attempts to weaken Sara Duterte's influence, not just in the present but also in the future political landscape. The reality is that the Duterte family isn't going anywhere soon. Sara's brothers have been rumored to be considering running in the future elections, and her father Rodrigo Duterte is rumored to be eyeing a seat in the Senate. For many of the Duterte family's opponents, this is a troubling prospect. A continued Duterte presence in government could mean the continuation of their tough stance on corruption, drug addiction, and crime, and some political figures seem keen on preventing this, and instead of focusing on addressing the very real problems that the country is facing right now: poverty, the lack of reliable internet, power shortages in rural areas, food insecurity, and rising prices. The political spotlight has been turned on Sara Duterte. In her own words, Sara has said that she is not the problem. The real issues lie in the hardships facing the Filipino people, the high cost of living, the lack of basic services in many areas, and government's failure to meet the promises made during the last election, including the promise by President Marcos to bring the price of rice down to 20 pesos per kilo. This is where the focus should be. But instead, we're seeing energy spent on politically motivated attacks, critics fishing for anything that could potentially lead to Sara Duterte's impeachment. It's distraction from the real work that needs to be done to improve the lives of Filipinos. These political attacks, which seem baseless and designed to tarnish her name, and not just about her, they're about preventing the Duterte family from maintaining or growing its influence in the coming years. What we're witnessing is a clear example of how political opponents can prioritize power plays over addressing the pressing needs of the country. The political battle isn't just hurting Sara Duterte's reputation, it's keeping the government from focusing on the bigger picture. The question remains, will the Philippine government shift its focus to where it truly matters, on solving the country's problems, or will the political theater continue as politicians worry more about the future elections than about the present-day realities faced by the millions of the Filipinos? And that's all for today's episode. As always, we'll keep a close eye on these developments. Thanks for joining us on Politics in Focus. I'm your host, Vicente A. Jr., and we'll be back next time with more insight on political landscape. Stay informed!